I talked to my teammates today about Steph Curry.
Screen by Green, the switch to Lively. Three, Curry. Oh!
The ball is not the problem with Steph Curry. He's the problem. Steph is most dangerous when he doesn't have the ball.
Trying to get it. Pass inside, Curry comes free and banks it home.
Guarding Steph is uncomfortable. And the problem with our guys in our league, they're not comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mitchell just caught the ball on the move, knew exactly where to go.
Lynn Jones staying with Steph, and Curry floats it.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry and Steph Curry. Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
The NBA is a league that values height, youth, athleticism, and raw strength above all else. I mean, just look at the recent number one picks. You've got 7-foot giants, mini Shaqs, and athletes that can jump out of this world. So then, if that's the case, how is it that in this league that a 6'2", 36-year-old guard is still the best player on the best team in the Western Conference? A conference where competition is more talented than ever, where it's truly survival of the fittest. How does this even add up? It defies every bit of conventional logic. Honestly, if we weren't witnessing it unfold before our very eyes, no one would believe it was possible.
The lane. Steph, that trail sidestep three. Good!
What Steph Curry is doing right now, as an undersized player, long past the age most stars peak, is nothing short of miraculous. And today, we're breaking it all down.
If the Golden State Warriors go on to win a championship, another championship, Steph Curry will officially enter the GOAT conversation.
I could spend all day breaking down Curry's game and showing you highlight after highlight of his brilliance at age 36, and don't worry, I'll get to that. But to truly understand the insanity of what he's accomplishing, we first need to dive into some cold, hard facts and then some numbers. James Harden is undeniably one of the greatest guards of the past decade. With 6 All-NBA first-team selections, 3 scoring titles, 2 assist titles, and an MVP to his name, not to mention countless other accolades, he's a lock for the Hall of Fame. But at age 35, we already talk about him like he's a relic of the past. The conversation is always, remember the Houston version of James Harden? Damian Lillard is another contemporary of Steph. Fellow top 75 player of all time and one of the most clutch shot makers the game has ever seen. But at 34, the signs of decline are already apparent. The Milwaukee Bucks, once seen as championship contenders without him, are now struggling to keep up with the competition since his arrival. And then there's Russell Westbrook, one of the greatest point guards in NBA history, known for his historic triple-doubles. But the reality is, at this stage of his career, he's no longer even an all-star, even though he's the same age as Steph. These are 3 of Steph's biggest contemporaries, all around the same age as him. As you can see, they've fallen far from their peak. While they were once considered unstoppable, that's not a word anyone would use to describe them today. Steph Curry, on the other hand, shorter than Harden, older than Lillard, and less athletic than Westbrook, is somehow still performing at the very peak of his game.
If you miss your contest, so the Warriors are thinking about that.
Game-by-game grade sheet, Steph Curry.
While 23 points per game might not match the heights of his unanimous MVP season in 2016, it's the exact same scoring output he delivered during his first MVP campaign a full decade ago. But here's the kicker. Not only is he matching that production, but he's also having the second most efficient season of his entire career. Then, on top of that, what's even more impressive is that he's not just putting up great numbers on a lottery team that's waiting to draft Cooper Flagg. The Golden State Warriors are statistically the best team in the West right now.
Shot fake. Curry all the time. Nails it. Steph Curry again from downtown.
Now, if that doesn't impress you, take a look at this. Here's a list of every player in NBA history who has averaged over 20 points per game at age 36 or older. This list includes 16 entries, but that's counting players who achieved it across multiple seasons. When we narrow it down to unique names, it's just 7. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Steph Curry. Now, here's where things get even crazier for Steph. Not a single other player on that list stands 6'2" or shorter. LeBron and Karl Malone are 6'9". Kevin Durant, originally listed as 6'9", later admitted he's actually 6'11". Kareem towers at 7 feet, and even Kobe and Michael Jordan are 6'6". The fact that Steph is accomplishing what these towering legends have done while being at least 4 inches shorter than any of them is nothing short of extraordinary. Steph perfectly captures the saying, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. But here's where things get even crazier. Aside from Kevin Durant this season, who, let's be honest, has a massive advantage being nearly 7 feet tall, Steph Curry holds the highest true shooting percentage of anyone in NBA history at age 36 or older. Incredible doesn't even begin to describe what number 30 is doing. And let's just say every citizen of France learned that the hard way. Anyway, this begs the question, how is he doing this? How is he so unstoppable at 36 years old, standing just 6'2" in a league where the average height is 6'7"? Well, as a Warriors superfan who watched every single game for years, let me give you my best breakdown. The number one reason Steph Curry is so dangerous, and this one's obvious, is that he's the greatest shooter the NBA has ever seen. It feels just like yesterday when he broke Ray Allen's three-point record of 2,973, but as of today, he's already closing in on 4,000. At his current pace of around 300 threes per season, and with 2 more years left on his contract after the 2025 season, there's a real chance he could surpass 5,000 career threes before he hangs it up. And here's the craziest part. He hasn't shown signs of slowing down. To put this into perspective, before Steph, the gold standard of three-point shooting was Ray Allen with 2,973 and Reggie Miller with 2,560 for a combined total of 5,533. But the truth is, by the time Steph's career is over, he could possibly eclipse that entire combined total on his own. Okay, maybe 5,533 is a stretch, but the point is clear. Steph's three-point shooting isn't just a skill. It's the defining weapon that makes him so unstoppable, even at age 36. This brings us to the second reason Steph is still so dominant, and that's the fact that he's so much more than just a shooter. Take Trae Young and Damian Lillard, for example. 2 players of similar height who are elite shooters and absolutely ruthless with the ball in their hands. However, their impact drops significantly when they're off the ball. Steph Curry, on the other hand, is a completely different story. When he doesn't have the ball, he's still relentless, always constantly moving, setting screens, cutting back door, or weaving through a maze of screens to get open for a shot. I mean, just look at some of these plays. Steph never stops. He just keeps moving, and eventually creating opportunities for himself or his teammates. Watching him every game is a masterclass in off-ball movement. He's clearly spent countless hours perfecting the art of playing without the ball, something most players don't even bother to practice. It's exhausting to watch, let alone defend. It's arguably the most underappreciated part of his game, and yet it's a big reason why he's still such a massive threat at age 36. The man is just a machine.
Hield the three-pointer. It's good! Buddy Hield from downtown!
This brings us to the third reason why Steph is still unstoppable, and that's what he does behind the scenes.
As a shooter, what'd you learn from Steph?
His approach, just the way he came, ready to work every single day, and the amount of shots he took and detail. And there was never a day off for that guy. You would think he's day off, but he's somewhere else working or doing something on his body. Or like I said, that year really changed everything about how I approach practice.
Many NBA players, even those with generational potential, struggle with disciplining themselves off the court, but not Steph. In fact, with Steph, it's the exact opposite. You'll hear countless players and coaches rave about his relentless commitment to training, even at this stage of his career. I mean, we just heard Dante DiVincenzo, a seasoned veteran who's won at every level of basketball, shared how being around Steph completely transformed the way he approaches practice. Honestly, from everything I've heard about Steph Curry's current training regimen, it actually reminds me of a story Allen Iverson once shared about Kobe Bryant's legendary work.
I'm going to the club. And he said, I'm going to the gym. And that was him. That was, that greatness. That's where that greatness came from.
Steph's work ethic at age 36 is a major reason he remains so lethal, even though he's technically past his prime. The final reason Steph Curry remains unstoppable at age 36 is his unpredictability. Unlike some stars who focus on racking up points, Steph doesn't care about dropping 30, 40, or 50 every night. His style of play makes it clear that his only focus is doing whatever it takes to win, whether it's scoring the points himself or creating opportunities for his teammates. And that's what keeps opponents constantly guessing. When a player becomes predictable, they're easier to defend. Take Giannis, for example. While he's incredibly dominant due to his physical attributes and not easy to guard by any means, teams in big games often find it easier to game plan against him by building a wall to block his drives and daring him to shoot from the outside. Or look at Jaylen Brown. While he's an elite player, defenders know he's much stronger going to his right and struggles with his left, which makes it a bit easier to game plan against him. Steph, on the other hand, is the definition of a complete player. Even at 36, he can punish you in any way. Give him space, and he'll shoot over you. Play him tight, and he'll blow past you. Double team him, and he'll find the open man. Take away the three, and he'll knock down a mid-range jumper. Lock him up with an elite on-ball defender, and he'll move off-ball, run through a maze of screens, or even set screens himself to create opportunities for his teammates. Steph's versatility and adaptability make him a nightmare to guard, no matter the defensive scheme. At 36, he's still rewriting the book on how to dominate the game. Skill, basketball IQ, and an uncanny ability to let the game come to him rather than forcing the issue. These are the traits that give Steph Curry the complete arsenal he needs to dominate the league, even at 36. And honestly, I don't see it ending anytime soon. In fact, I predict that a year from now, I'll be making another video titled, "Why is Steph Curry so unstoppable at age 37?" On another note, did you catch how Steph absolutely took over the game when his fellow Splash brother, Klay Thompson, returned to the Chase Center? It was nothing short of epic and just another example of how dominant Steph Curry still is. If you want the full story of how Steph and Klay went head-to-head in that unforgettable showdown, click on this video right here where I break it all down for you.